welcome to another 45 Degree Sailing Yacht Review. This week we are reviewing the 2018 Hanse 548. So we've had the day to really test out the boat, and this has been a boat I've been looking at sailing for the last 1.5 years since the model was announced. We are really impressed with the boat sailing wise, and space downstairs is excellent. It's excellent. So to touch on a few points at the back here, the saloon area is really nice and open. The split tables is one of our favourite features on the newer Hanse yachts, and it is no exception on this boat. It is brilliant, and with the hydraulic platforms that lower so that we can do the double lounging settees out here is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So they're a big plus for guests and just for cruising around like this. This particular model has so many bells and whistles. We're going to try and cover a few of them. One of the main things is these panels out here. They have a full integration with the entire system on the yacht. So they're controlled by this thing called C-Zone. Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail of this, but as you can see on these menus here, we can control everything that power is connected to on the yacht from this zone. So we can select to turn on and off sailing, navigation lights, stereo, lights downstairs, cabin lights. Everything can be controlled from the panels out here, which is really, really nice. At the panel here, we also have the tree data system here, autopilot on both sides of the navigation stations, and anchor control for the windlass in the front up here. The port table switch to lower and raise the main table there, and then the fusion stereo control so that we can control the system and the stereo from out here. All Bluetooth, all connected, brilliant. Another great feature on the starboard station over here is the new controls for the throttle are all electrically controlled. So the throttle system is much more touchy, but still very smooth to use, which is nice. And the touch start, touch stop operation, also with the neutral and in gear operation, is quite a neat upgrade to the Helm station there. This one is also equipped with bow thruster and stern thruster. So we have these two lever controls here, and when we turn these on, they lower electrically lower down underneath the water. The stern one is just behind the aft prop, and the bow one, of course, under the bow skipper's cabin area. They give it a lot of thrust. I was really surprised. When we came out of the berth this morning, I was thinking, oh, that's a nice gimmick, and yet we got hooked up on a mooring line, had to back into the berth in quite a strong border, and the stern thruster and bow thruster made it incredibly easy for us to maneuver the boat back into the berth and hold station while we sorted out what was going on with the lines. So I'm now a fan of that. I think it's great, and because they're flush to the deck when you're sailing, they don't slow the boat down. Another lovely feature about the boat we're really impressed with is the aft swim platform. Now this is lowered as well hydraulically by the button on the starboard helm station. As we pull that down, you can then raise the helm seat there and the panel in the floor so that you can take the stairs down and then onto the aft swim platform. Now this has one of the features we've been going on about in our reviews lately, which is the swimming stairs effectively. And as you can see in these shots, this is the best system for getting in and out of the water on a yacht that I've seen to date. And I want to see it on more yachts. Absolutely, bring it into more yachts. I would actually press Hanse to not even create boats this size without it. Just make it standard, because it is so much easier and safer to get out of the water, especially for larger people, or if someone is less physically able or not stronger in the upper body. This swim platform makes it insanely easier. This particular one has opted to have the fridge, grill and wash station at the back of the yacht here. Now, we tested this out today. I'm previously not a fan of barbecues on boats, and I am now a fan of barbecue on this boat. This is an electrically powered grill. We need to have the generator running to power it, and I was skeptical that you would get it hot enough to really fry something, and yet we cooked a whole container slab of cevapi on it today, and it was really easy, and it got nice and hot, and it was super easy to clean as well. So I'm really excited about using that in the future. It was something I didn't expect to like. Really nice and convenient also to have the fridge underneath the grill there and the wash basin so you can wash down up top as well. So brilliant seeing that incorporated into the back of the boat here. So you can opt for secondary winches on the yacht so that you have another main drum winch back here. This one, Simply the Best, does not have those. So we tested it out with the Jenica today, as well as standard sailing, and it actually worked perfectly fine. We ran the Jenica off the whatever lured winch wasn't being used, so it didn't really matter that we didn't have secondary winches. In a racing sense, it would be nice to have them, but in a cruising sense, it was absolutely fine to just run it off the standard winches, especially with the main sheet being complete double through, so you can access that from either side. And of course, the jib sheet wasn't an issue because of the self-tacking jib. We had rolled it away once the Jenica was up, so it wasn't a problem at all. All of the lines on both sides run completely back to the stern and into these lockers to hide away all the lines. It works really, really nice. Also, the stern, this stern locker here houses the electrics and the shore power for the air conditioning and the main power, which has been really good, all hidden away in there too. Today we sailed around towards Kaštela to get a little bit more wind. There was about a 12 to 15 knot border running from the hills, which we got into and sailed close hauled on that for a good half an hour to test the boat out. She really just got up and went. We were doing speeds 7.5 to 8.5 knots upwind with some complete beginners on the helm, finding it really easy to helm. It was very comfortable. The space on the boat is immense. I've been really surprised about this too. We tested it out with 10 of us on board today, and quite often I was asking myself, where are all the people? Except they're all up on deck. They're just so spread out between the sun lounges underneath the boom and the huge cockpit area. It's just, there's plenty of seating for everyone. And then at lunch we seated 10 around this area at the same time. It was really, really comfortable, really nice. Yay! All right, downstairs on here, this is a 5+1 cabin arrangement. So we have the 4 double cabins, and then a bunk cabin on the port side, where usually in the 4-cabin version there is a master bathroom, and then we have the skipper's cabin in the bow. Now, the aft port berth on the Hanse 548 is huge. It's the master bedroom, and it has a small settee off to the side and a heap of room inside there. It's a beautiful cabin to sit and hang out in, and I'm really looking forward to it on our upcoming trips. I find it quite strange on the 5-cabin version having a master bedroom like that, a master cabin, without having an ensuite off it. So when you opt to have the bunks in that port side instead of the master bathroom, I feel you lose a little bit on the boat. Simply the Best has a fully battened mainsail, which is nice. Instead of it having in-mast furler on a boat this size, having the fully battened mainsail gives it some real push in that light wind, and of course you can then trim your sail nicely. What I've had trouble with, and it's no different on this boat to other larger Hanses I've been sailing, is the main halyard clutch, and the main halyard must get so much use during charter season that halyard and clutch is always slipping, giving us that horrible seashelling in the mainsail in the luff. And that's really frustrating because there's nothing else to put it on. You've got one winch down there, you can't leave it on the winch because you need to run your jib sheet off it. So I'm personally getting quite frustrated with Hanse yachts that are always having a slipping main halyard. Summing up, the Hanse 548, still one of my favorite models. I found it a bit crazy that the Dinghy Garage down the back can't house a decent sized dinghy, so it's been rendered kind of useless in that sense. It's now just a big storage area, and people are opting to put the davits on the stern so that they can lift the dinghy onto the back. Nice compromise, but it just seems like a little bit of a waste, and it's a shame because having your dinghy stored away underneath is the greatest thing as long as it fits. And in these cases, you can't get a big enough dinghy in this garage. So that is one downside to the yacht. On the plus side, I'm incredibly impressed with the sailing of the yacht. We had some small vertical battens on the leech of the jib of this yacht, and that made its shape really nice through the day. I really enjoyed that. As I said, fully battened mainsail, big fan of that as well. And all of the systems on the boat have been a pleasure to work with. The air conditioning downstairs has 4 separate units to run, so never going to run out of power there. We've got a Panda generator, which has supplied power to us all day. When we've been stationary, it's been brilliant. So the anchor windlass worked very seamlessly, though we have noticed some chips on the bow. It looks like it's just a little bit close to the bow of the boat, being a very blunt bow of the boat. It's swinging into those and chipping if people aren't taking care. We seem to operate it fine without hitting the bow of the boat, and yet in the charter world a lot of people don't take as much care. So that could be something that you get a protective plate put on the front, or in the future the bowsprit is just mounted a little bit further forward. I'm not a yacht designer, so I can't really comment on that helpfully. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions about the yacht, please comment below. Help us out. Hit that subscribe button and like the video, and we would very like to hear your feedback on the review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.